In this video, we're going to be going through my worst to first of the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Droids figures and card backs. Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, in this video I'm going to be going through all of the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Droids figures and ranking them from worst to first. Now, I'm going to be doing this based on the figure and the card back, and all of the figures are going to be some kind of astromech or droid in the Star Wars universe. Some things that I'm not going to be including, just so you know, I'm not going to be including anything outside of the Vintage Collection, and that includes the Trilogy Collection and the Vintage Saga Collection. I'm also not going to be including anything that's in like a 2-pack, like the Bounty Hunter 2-pack. So this is pretty much any figure that's been released on their own card back, on their own, basically, a single release. So we're going to get started in a second. Before I do so, if you do happen to enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like down below because it really helps the video and the channel. And of course, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications. Now, there are 15 figures to go through in this video, so we're going to start off in 15th place. And this is, for me, the worst figure in the Vintage Collection, and this is C-3PO. Now, this might come as a bit of a shock to everybody. I'm just going to take Bossk out of the way here. Now, the reason I've put C-3PO in last place for a few reasons. The first reason is the figure itself is an awful C-3PO. He's dull. He's not a very nice, shiny metal like he should be, so he's not that metalized. Also, the card back, although I like the image and it's a classic image and it is one of the original 96 images, it has the wrong movie label. So this really should be a Star Wars card, a Star Wars chase. And they put it on an Empire Strikes Back, and they did that in the Trilogy Collection as well, and then they followed through into the Vintage Collection. He's VC06, so one of the first figures in the line, but as I said, terrible C-3PO, really short, not great colours, and also the card back is on the wrong movie. So that's why, unfortunately, he is in last place. If it was a better figure and it was on the right card back, he'd be much higher up the list. Now, this R2-D2 isn't included in the 15 that I'm going to be going through today, because I did say that I wouldn't be including Trilogy Collection and Saga Collection figures, but I did just want to talk about this one very quickly because Hasbro are releasing this one later on this year and they are correcting it. It will be on an Empire Strikes Back card and it'll be a different figure. But I just wanted to mention it in this video because once they do release him, he probably would be higher up in my list, probably in the top 10, because this card back is one of my favourite card backs, but it must be on an Empire Strikes Back card, which is what they're doing. But as I say, he's not included in the 15. I just wanted to bring it up. In 14th place, we have the battle droid from the Phantom Menace. This is VC78, I do believe. We'll just get Bossk out of the way so we can double check. VC78, and this is the reissue card. I do have the original one of this one as well, packed away somewhere. And the reason this one's so far down the list is because essentially there's better ones on the list, unfortunately, for the battle droid. I don't mind the image. It is quite a good image. It is a little bit blurry. The figure isn't great because he is a bit bendy. Not too sure if the original one was that bendy, because obviously I didn't have that one loose, but I do have him loose. He's almost carbonized as well. So for this one, he is in 14th place. Phantom Menace is a good movie. I like it and everything, but there are much better droids in the line. In 13th place is the Heavy Battle Droid, which is pretty much a battle droid, but with some extra weapons and everything. And the reason this one's so far down the list is a similar reason at the end of the day. The battle droids aren't great. They're really, really super bendy, especially the new ones. The card back, however, is really, really nice, but I think the fact that it is a video game figure sort of marks it down for me. There's much better ones in the line than this one. Although it does look good, there's no doubt about it. And he is VC193 in the line, and that is the Heavy Battle Droid. And in 12th place, we have yet another battle droid. There's a bit of a theme going on here. On the Clone Wars card, this is one of the animated card backs that we have, and although I do like them, they don't really fit with anything else in the Vintage Collection. It's good to have them all on the wall together. Now, the figure itself isn't as bendy as the previous battle droids. I think it's based on a repack from the Legacy Collection that got cancelled, so it is a better battle droid in terms of the quality of it, and I do like this card back. This is my favourite of the three. However, there are much better figures to go through in this list, and essentially this one hits 12th place. He is 216, so he is one of the most recent figures. In 11th place in the worst to first of the Vintage Collection droids is the Death Star droid. Now, I was really, really happy when they gave us this one on the Star Wars card. It was much needed for the line. A couple of things let it down for me. The fact that it isn't vac metalized, that was a bit of a disappointment for me. And also, I'm not really a massive fan of this 50th anniversary Lucasfilm logo. I've kind of learnt to live with it, but at the same time, when I do see it compared to other cards, it annoys me ever so slightly. And I think when you've got an important character like this from the original 96, having that there is just a little bit disappointing. He is VC197. Also, the figure itself is a repack of the Builder Droid from the Legacy Collection, so it's not really a great figure. He looks a little bit odd, so for that reason, he's in 11th place. And in 10th place, we have the Bounty Hunter Droid 4LOM, or 4LOM, or Zuckuss if you're of a certain age. Now, this is actually VC10, so it's quite fitting that he's in 10th place. There he is, VC10, the original card back. And this is an okay figure. I feel that the one that recently came out from the Disney parks is a better version of 4LOM. I think it's much more accurate to the image there. Now, saying that, I do love this image. I do love the card back, but I think the figure lets it down ever so slightly. He's almost like Power of the Force-like for me. That's just my opinion. But anyway, 4LOM is in 10th place. In 9th place, it pains me to do it, but unfortunately the original R2-D2, this classic card back, is quite far down the list, and it all comes down to the figure really. I really just wish that they'd give us a clean R2-D2 like the one that you got back in the day from the original 96. You know, there's plenty of other opportunities to give us an R2-D2 from like maybe the Swamp of Dagobah like they did in the Black series with that awesome card back, or giving us one that's all sandy or whatever. But at the end of the day, this one is supposedly based on the Battle of Yavin. I think this is after he's been shot, maybe. He is really dirty, isn't he? But essentially, as I'm saying, when you have this card back, this classic card back, for me, you need a clean R2. And when I first got this figure, I made sure I opened one of these up really nicely and I put in a clean R2-D2 and I resealed it, just so I could have that card back with him clean. And that is why, unfortunately, R2-D2, who is VC149, is so far down the list. And in 8th place, on the worst to first of the droids in the vintage collection, we have the Super Battle Droid from Attack of the Clones. And I'm starting to think that I should have put this guy higher up just looking at this card back. What an awesome card back this is. And unfortunately, I can't really talk about the figure too much because this is one that I don't have loose. I would absolutely love to have this figure loose as well, but I don't, unfortunately. Here he is, the Super Battle Droid. What a beautiful card back that is on the Attack of the Clones card. And there he is. He is VC37. Sorry about the glare there. VC37. Awesome card back. Straight from the arena in Geonosis. And he looks really good. And I'm starting to think that I should have put him higher up. But at the end of the day, there are 7 that I prefer in the line. And that's why he's in 8th place. Alright, then in 7th place, we have another R2-D2. And this one is on the Return of the Jedi card. And this is basically the R2-D2 that was serving the drinks on the sail barge. I love this one because of the card back. Such a great card back. And I've got to be honest that this R2-D2 isn't really my favourite R2-D2 sculpt. I've always thought that the panels there, those little blue things, the horizontal blue things there, are a little bit on the thin side. And also that bar in the middle is also on the thin side as well, those silver things there. For me, he always looked a little bit sort of too tall, if that makes sense. And that's quite funny, really, because the dirty version that was on the original Star Wars card is a little bit dumpy and a little bit short. So I feel that they need to really sort R2-D2 out personally. I do believe that this is going to be the one that they're going to be repacking onto that Empire Strikes Back card that I talked about earlier with the periscope. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to live with that one. But yeah, decent enough R2-D2, looks good with the drinks tray and everything, but it's all about the image on the card back. He looks great. And also you can get this version on the Revenge card as well. He was available on the Revenge card. And he is VC25 in the line, and he was in 7th place. In 6th place, we have the Magna Guard from Revenge of the Sith. Now, as you'll see, this one is actually on a foil card. This is one of the figures that I've only got on a foil card. I haven't got the original sort of release of him. That didn't really bother me at the time. I probably should look to maybe pick that one up at some point. A little bit expensive on the secondary market now, but I'm happy with the foil one. He's going to be hard to show you because he does reflect. He is VC18 in the line, so one of the first to come out. And yeah, Magna Guard. And this is a great looking figure. And again, another one that I don't have loose that I would like to pick up loose. It looks a great figure. It looks like it's got some nice soft goods and everything. Good representation of the character from the movie. And also, what a great card back that is. He looks proper evil on there. Loving the card back. and that is why he is in 6th place, VC18. Alright then, so we're into the top 5 now, and in 5th place we've got IG-11 on the Mandalorian card. Now there's not too much else I can say about the figure than I already said in my review of this figure. What a fantastic release this was. Really, really good figure, this one. Full of articulation. I don't think they could have got him any better. The card back is a good card back, but I would say that it is ever so slightly out of focus. I think they could have got a better shot than that for him, in my opinion. He is VC 206 in the line, so one of the newer figures. And yeah, it's great to finally have him in the line. Such a great figure, and that is why he's so high up on my list. And yeah, the card back's mediocre, but the figure itself really boosts him right up into that top 5. And number 4 on the list, we have General Grievous on the Revenge of the Sith card. Now this is a droid as far as I'm concerned. I know he's got a heart and real eyes and things like that, but essentially most of him is droid, so I'm counting him as one of the droids. And he is VC17 in the line, so again quite an early figure, but I love the card back, I love the green, I love the way his red cape shows up through the bubble, and it's just an all-round really nice figure. Once again, another one that I don't have loose, that I hope they re-release so I can get him loose. But in terms of the card back and figure combo, it looks great. It's one of the more sought after figures, and he is in 4th place on my list. Alright then, so we have reached the top 3, and you're probably watching this video saying, how on earth can he rank the power droid above other characters such as General Grievous, the Magna Guard and things like that? And I've got to be honest, this one for me was always one that I wanted in the vintage collection. The power droid for me is one of the classic figures from the 80s, and I just love the card back. I love the purples. It just screams Star Wars for me, and the figure isn't bad either. At the end of the day, it was a sort of kit bash of other figures, but I love the way that they made him like the Luke Homestead power droid, which is the blue power droid that's walking around with Aunt Beru. Even though the figure doesn't match the card back, this card back is just a sheer classic from the line on that Star Wars chase, and he is VC167. I'm just over the moon that they eventually did this one, and I just think it looks great. Look at him sitting there in the bubble. Absolutely fantastic. And that's why he's in my top 3. And in 2nd place, we have R5D4 on the Star Wars card. And this, for many of the same reasons that the Power Droid is so high up in the list, this is probably one of my all-time favourite card backs from the original Kenner line. And I just absolutely love it. And to be honest, if I did a whole list of my favourite card backs in the line, this one would be very near the top. Never mind just in the droids section. So for me, this is right up there. I know that the figure isn't a great R5D4. A lot of people have problems with this figure, and they probably could do it better. But for me, just looking at him there, he looks like R5D4. He could be weathered up a bit more, I guess. But the card back, there's so much going on that card back. You've got Luke, you've got Jawas, you've got the droid himself, and it's just a classic image on that Star Wars chase. Just absolutely fantastic. So he is in 2nd place. So let's find out who's in 1st place. And in 1st place of my worst of first of the droids of the vintage collection, we have K2SO on the Rogue One card. And once again, you're probably screaming at this video and screaming at me saying, why on earth is he ranking K2SO at the top of the droids list? Now, there's a couple of reasons. One, the card back is fantastic. Number 2, I absolutely love Rogue One. I think it's the best film that Disney have made. And also, I think K2SO is probably one of the best things to come out of the Disney era. I absolutely love the design of the droid. I think he looks awesome. I love the character. I think they got his voice spot on. The comedy of him was spot on. And I just love the character. And because of that, I love the figure. And also, Hasbro have done a fantastic job on bringing this figure to life with super articulation into the vintage collection. I don't really think they could have done much better than that. And also, for once, they've picked an amazing image for him. I don't think really you could have got a better image of K2SO. So those factors combined, Rogue One's a brilliant film. K2SO is one of my favourite droids. One of the best things to come out of Disney Star Wars. Fantastic card back. He is VC 170 in the line. And I'm just so pleased to have him in the line. And he is my number 1. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to know who you think, or maybe your top 5, if you want to list your top 5 droids in the vintage collection. I do hope you've enjoyed the video, even though you may not agree with some of my selections. But let me know your thoughts. I'd want to know. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. And we shall see you on the next one.